Tonight, the Firefighters Union takes action against the state government, fighting for better resources. And a Spencer Gulf Council provides free COVID masks for locals.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. As we head into the bushfire season, the United Firefighters Union says critical resources desperately need replacing, calling on the state government for action after claiming it was turned away for discussions.
A call for action, the United Firefighters Union of Australia up against the state government fighting for crews on the front line.
Our research is showing that over successive years there have been funding cuts to both the MFS and CFS. In real terms, 4 out of the last 10 budgets.
Saying resources and appliances desperately need replacing, an issue prevalent in both metropolitan and regional areas.
What we're finding on the ground is that showing in a critical way in terms of our members having access to decent and updated vehicles, appliances, equipment, training and support personnel.
In a statement, Emergency Services Minister Vincent Tarzia says since March 2018, the state government has injected more than $67 million in funding to the MFS and has invested in better equipment and technology to protect firefighters on the front line. But the union says the government isn't doing enough.
We've said to this government, it's time to get real about protecting our firefighters and reducing the risk to our communities. But what we're getting is a deafening silence.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
We're being reminded coronavirus won't be taking a holiday after just 55 people were tested in Broken Hill last week. It's among the lowest number of tests conducted since the pandemic began.
Reason to be joyful as we're approaching Christmas. But as I said, really the ultimate message is still be wary. The virus is still out there.
In some good news though, those travelling into the city by plane or bus from South Australia will no longer be screened from Monday. Meanwhile, Port Pirie Council is providing free face masks as medical facilities and pharmacies still require mandatory wear. The masks will be available from the Port Pirie office, Crystalbrook office, Port Pirie's library and Kalunga Garage Farm Supplies. Council is also working with Red Hill Development Association to find a distribution point for residents as well. Broken Hill councillors will resume face-to-face meetings at the Chambers from February after a motion was passed last night. A COVID-safe plan will be put in place with a hybrid model introduced, allowing councillors, staff and members of the public to attend via video conferencing if they do not wish to meet in person. The RAA is urging drivers to take caution in shopping car parks this festive season as the pre-Christmas shopping rush ramps up. Insurance data has revealed a spike in crash claims this time of year.
It's the last-minute Christmas rush that comes around every year, shoppers buying presents and taking advantage of seasonal sales. But along with the busy shopping centres comes busy car parks as well.
In December we find people are out more shopping for Christmas and they have a little less patience because we all feel a little time pressured.
Over the past 5 years, the RAA insurance data has recorded an average of 700 car park collisions in the month of December, 15% higher than the monthly average. The damage bill for these collisions has also risen in the past 5 years by 28%.
We see car park bengals occurring in a lot of the larger shopping centres, hardware stores, so anywhere where a lot of people congregate together.
The RAA data reveals 9 out of 10 people believe drivers are less courteous in car parks around Christmas time, while 49% have seen or been the victim of car park rage.
Yes, you need to be patient and be very aware of what's happening around you, behind you and either side of you in a car park.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, 3 Port Augusta sisters receive prestigious human rights awards and Broken Hill Council introduces free microchipping for pets. Welcome back. 3 Port Augusta sisters have been named Human Rights Commission heroes for this year after campaigning to protect their land. Taking a stand for the cause, they say they are proud to have been recognised for their efforts.
Local heroes recognised. These Port Augusta sisters are 3 out of 10 recipients to receive the 2020 Human Rights Commission Heroes Award, after winning a nuclear waste dump campaign against the federal government last year.
When we started the fight and stuff, we didn't do it for awards, we done it for the land, but this is a bonus, and it is an honour.
It's for all those conservationists who support us and the ordinary people from all walks of life who supported us, and you know, it's not only for us, it's for them as well. We'll share it with them.
The member for Giles also acknowledging their brave efforts.
That's a reflection of the work that they put in over the years, standing up for and advocating for their country and culture.
And while they say there's still a long way to go, they're not done fighting.
It is out of the Flinders Ranges, but it's still in Kimber. And my heart goes out to the people of Kimber. Not just the people who are saying no, but to the people who are saying yes as well, because it has split that little town apart.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hill City Council is offering free microchipping for pets tomorrow. The service will be available from the animal shelter at the airport between 9 and 4. New South Wales law requires all cats and dogs to be microchipped before 12 weeks of age. Bookings are essential. Further information can be found on Council's Facebook page. It's now time to review the year that was in Port Lincoln. The pandemic dominated our lives while internal drama within government caught national headlines. Nathan Rector spoke to member for Flinders, Peter Treloar.
Welcome, Peter. Thanks for joining me. Now, I know we say every year is a big year, but this one has been something we've never seen before. We've seen lockdowns, temperature testing, and even panic buying at the supermarkets. But despite being so separated, we've never been more united. So what stood out to you during this pandemic?
So a year like no other, obviously. It's been much talked about, but of course 2020 will be remembered as the year that COVID hit. And as far as Eyre Peninsula goes, we certainly had it brought home to us back in April when there was a meeting at Cummins of some 200 people gathered in the football club there, and there was a COVID scare from that particular meeting. So as it turned out, there were no infections from that meeting, but it was certainly a shot across the bow and brought home to us all, I think, how serious COVID can be, could be, and how transmissible potentially it is.
Peter, the government was sidetracked from dealing with the COVID pandemic to dealing with its own internal drama. A number of your colleagues were forced to step down over some questionable travel claims. Do you think the mud will continue from that into the new year and into the election beyond that?
Look, I don't believe so. It involved accommodation rather than travel. I would hope, certainly it's a long way to being sorted now, and I would hope that by the new year it's all sorted. Certainly it resulted in a number of members losing their positions in the Parliament, but it's onwards and upwards. We're just over 12 months out from the election, and we'll be focusing really on making an economic statement and a policy statement in relation to being re-elected in March 2022.
There's been quite a few exciting projects pop up across the region. We've got our Desalination Plant, which is set to begin construction next year. What are some of the positives that's come from 2020?
Yeah, so look, the continuing support for the desal plant obviously is a highlight, something I've been working towards for the last 10 years, and the commitment from our government to that build. It's due to begin construction in 2021, come online in 2022, and for the long term it will secure the water supply for Eyre Peninsula and at the same time protect the existing resource. So I'm really excited about that project. It's probably the most significant infrastructure build, single piece of infrastructure on the Eyre Peninsula for perhaps 100 years.
And in some personal news for yourself, Peter, you've decided to hang up the boots at the next state election. What do you hope your legacy will be, and what do you hope to get done in the next year and a bit you have left?
For me, a real legacy will be the construction and bringing online of the desal plant, without a doubt. Other projects that are going on, of course, Electronet are about to build a new or upgrade a transmission line onto the Eyre Peninsula, which will go a long way to securing our electricity supply.
And finally, Peter, what's your Christmas wish for our viewers and for the region?
I've often said in the past that the two most important things for the Eyre Peninsula are whether it rains or not and where the fish are. So I guess that holds true now. We don't have much control over that, any control really, as individuals or as governments, but it certainly puts things in perspective. So happy Christmas and a safe New Year to everybody, including yourself, Nathan.
Stay with us after the break. 2 baby deer born in Silverton ready to join Santa's sleigh. And an annual carol celebration goes online. Hello again. The outback town of Silverton has welcomed 2 special arrivals just in time for Christmas. Baby deers Vixen and Blitzen stopping in on their way to the North Pole to welcome travellers over the holidays.
It's about as different to the North Pole as you can get, but this adorable duo is calling Australia home. Born just a few days ago, Vixen and Blitzen are the latest additions to Silverton outback camels.
I think a lot of the local children are quite keen to get out and visit, and perfect timing, Christmas season.
It comes as businesses in the town predict a booming tourism season.
We're seeing more business, more people driving around and more bookings for us. You know, we thought we'd have 3 months off to get a few things done around the place, but it's not looking that way at the moment.
Bookings are in high demand, with camel rides even operating on Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's the same story up the road at the Mad Max Museum.
We've had a lot of inquiries already. I mean, Christmas is normally quite busy anyway, but again, with the lockdown and now with the Victorian borders being opened, I think we'll see a lot from Victoria as well coming through here.
And while they welcome the extra visitors, these locals have a simple request.
If they're coming through here, if they're going to visit the region, you know, buy a coffee, just call into an attraction.
After all, this tourism business is thirsty work. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Wyalla's annual carols in the park will look a little different this year, with COVID-19 forcing the event to be cancelled. Event organisers, however, haven't given up, turning to the online world to showcase the annual performance.
Coming together to rehearse Christmas jingles for a very special showcase.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
This year's Whyalla Lions Carols in the Park going online for the very first time.
Obviously, due to COVID-19 restrictions, we haven't been able to stage live in Civic Park this year.
When we first got the call up from the Lions clubs to put this together, we thought, do we go digital? Do we stream the thing? Do we do what everyone else is doing? We wanted to capture something that was emotional, something that was inspiring.
The musical director says what they've come up with is magical.
What we've done instead is put together a beautiful special edition that people will be able to tune into and watch online at wyallacarols.com.
The 26-minute video showcase was filmed in 24 locations across Whyalla and features a cast of nearly 50.
Our cast is aged from 3 to retiree, and they've all really done an amazing job embracing the heart and soul of this project.
As a member of the choir, people will see us singing at different iconic places in Whyalla.
The group excited to see the final product, which took more than 200 hours to put together.
Really excited to launch it. It's going to be amazing. We just want everyone all over the world to tune in.
The show launches at 7:30 this Sunday evening at wyallacarols.com.
I'm really excited to sing Silent Night. I'm excited to sing Jingle Bells.
Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Crystal Brook Men's Shed is busier than ever as it settles into a new workshop space. Despite being a tough year for the community, members say the group morale has boosted positivity.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, these club members are pleased their new shed is coming to life.
The men's shed has really taken off. We managed to get a grant from Pacific Hydro to build our kitchen and office areas.
It's been months of transformations, with the workshop now months away from completion.
By about March next year, I think we'll be pretty close to the mark where we have all the toilets and the kitchen and everything else working.
Members have been working around the clock with many new orders to fill.
We were starting to pull down a shed for an old lady, just a bit of our community duties. And, we're not for profit, so we don't get paid, we don't charge. It's all done by donation.
Despite a tough year for many, members say the group morale pulled them through.
I just can't get enough of men's shed. It's taken over my life. And, a lot of these other guys that are here, our days are generally Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we've got guys, we're here 5 days a week.
Residents are encouraged to consider rolling up their sleeves and join in. Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our experts will join us with this week's fishing tips, and we'll have the weather details with Alex. Welcome back. Sporting clubs and non-for-profit organisations can apply for state government funding. The grant's aiming to assist sporting clubs who have done it tough this year.
Get in there, apply for it, and also let your local member know, whether it's myself or somebody else in the Upper Spencer Gulf or in the York Peninsula, let your local member know you're applying for it so that they can actually write a letter of support for you.
Applications close at the end of January. Let's see what's biting out in Spencer Gulf waters this weekend. Here's our experts with their fishing tips.
Welcome another week around the Gulf Fishing Tips. I tell you what, at this moment, these Yellowtail Kingfish are really giving us some what for. They're actually very, very smart fish, and there's a lot of guys over on the rip trying to catch them with all the best intentions and all the best gear in the world, and then you find a guy just turns up with just the old hand line and pulls one in. While we're looking, the yellowfin whiting, we haven't had much warm weather, but there should be a good chance that the schools are starting to come in. You'll be able to get yourself a feed. I've been told at Port Davis the water's still a bit cooler. You can get some King George whiting still, so have a crack.
Hi, Whalers Fishing Report this week. There has been a few nice King George whitings still coming down from Mount Young grounds. You do have to filter through the annoying shitties and the puffer fish as well, but still some good catches coming down there. Also some nice garfish. Down towards the Point Lowly area, still the Yellowtail Kingfish are running. Has been a hot topic around the town, so get amongst them. They won't stick around for too much longer. And also out in the boat, some blue swimmer crabs starting to come in good numbers. Land-based around Whyalla, a few silver whiting coming from the Whyalla foreshore.
G'day and welcome to the last fishing tips for the year before Christmas. Well, it's pretty good build up to Christmas at the moment. Lots of crabs around. They're big and full of meat. A bit of a mixed bag too, because you're getting them out deep but also in shallow on the higher tides. Silver whiting, as always, out in those middle banks, really big and thick at the moment. Getting even down to around 10 or 15 centimetres of water at low tide. There's a few snook around and a few salmon trout trolling around the mouths of the creeks and also out in the middle banks. And also, if you do get a nice calm night, try for some garfish. There are some kingfish still around, but there's also a big Noah hanging around the powerhouse as well. That's all we have from the Jewel North, and wish everyone a happy and Merry Christmas.
G'day and welcome to Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. Locally, there's been some squid off the town jetty early in the day, and down on the main wharf there has been some trevally and a few tommies, along with the occasional King George. Down the passage there's been some nice nanagai and a few blue mormon caught down south of Williams Island. And over at Coffin Bay, the bay systems have some salmon trout, some garfish, and whiting are biting pretty well through the farm beach grounds. Well, that's all for fishing tips for this year. Wishing everyone good fishing and safe boating over the holiday period, and we'll see you again next year.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex.
Thanks, Ruby. Mainly fine across our beautiful region today. From 3 p.m, Whyalla mostly sunny, reached 26. Broken Hill a high of 30. Cooper Pedy 34 degrees. Mostly sunny in Port Augusta 32. Port Lincoln, Cleve and Kadina all reaching 22. Woodner and Port Pirie both sunny and 31. Clare sunny and 24. And Adelaide was a max of 25. To the satellite image now, extensive cloud streaming across northern SA as moisture feeds a trough is bringing rain to the far northwest. Cloud is thickening in the far northwest as the trough deepens and gains moisture, causing the rain to become heavier. Skies are mostly clear in the south. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. Sunny across the Spencer tomorrow. Port Lincoln to reach 23, Cleve a max of 26 degrees, Woodner mostly sunny and 34 degrees. Whyalla to reach 30, Port Augusta a max of 33, Kadina 31, Port Pirie 32, Clare set to top 27 degrees, and Broken Hill with a high of 31. Taking a look further through the week now, showers in some parts on Saturday, 37 in Port Augusta, 35 in Woodner, partly cloudy and 36 in Port Pirie and Kadina. Conditions clearing up on Sunday, 35 in Port Pirie and Kadina, 26 and showers in Cooper Pedy, 36 in Woodner and Port Augusta, and warming up on Monday, 39 in Port Augusta and Woodner, Port Lincoln 33, Adelaide and Whyalla 37. And that's all the weather from me tonight. Back to you, Ruby.
Lovely, thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Thursday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.